What's happening, beautiful people? It's day 9. I'm still alive. Go figure. Feeling pretty good. Feeling very clear mentally. But as the days go on, I have less and less energy, more and more tired. But remember, it's different. I've been doing this a long time. When you first start doing it, especially if you've been, you know, unhealthy for the most part, you're overweight, that kind of stuff. After you get past the first few days of like withdrawals, um, tends to be a little bit easier just because you have a lot more fat on your body to burn, you have a lot more waste to get rid of. So you tend to, at least I felt like when I first started fasting compared to now, I definitely had um, more energy through the duration of the longer fast. Because when I did my 20 day, I actually exercised for like the first 11 days, and I mean, I went hard, which I shouldn't have. I should have took it a lot easier. I probably would have ended up doing 30 days if I would have did that, but is what it is. But this whole thing has been a great experience. Really reminded me of how important fasting is. I came to the conclusion a while ago that fasting was more important than the nutrition, and I mean that by a little bit, because the nutrition and fasting, they go hand in hand. But I think even when you're eating completely healthy, if you're eating in abundance and you're eating later at night and you're eating more protein filled things, you could tend to still back up your digestive tract. And that's why it's still important to incorporate fasting. So while I'm upset at myself that I kind of lost sight of that for a little while, I'm happy that I found it again, and we'll maintain it. So I've kind of come up with a little yearly fasting regimen that I think that I'm going to probably stick with. As always, things change in time, but I'm thinking once a year, 10 to 15 day liquid fast, primarily water plus your herbs, sea moss, herbal teas if you need it, maybe a little juice at the beginning if you need it. So once a year doing that, every month doing 3 days to start the month, and then once a week following thereafter. So I'll probably do Mondays. I like to start the week off with it. And then intermittent fasting daily from 16 to 18 hours. We'll see what happens. But either way, I think that that's a good fasting schedule. I'm going to kind of put that as my main thing, and make sure that no matter what, I stick with it. And I probably won't do any more like fasting challenges like I have over the last couple years. It'll probably just be what it is. So if you're following along and you want to get involved and you've been struggling and we're coming to the end of the month, then to start the month that very first day that I'm going to be fasting, feel free to tag along. And I'll let you guys know in time when I do my next long fast. I've decided that even though I was pretty confident early on I was going to do the full 15, and I'm still confident that I could, I just don't want to. So tomorrow, day 10, is going to be my last day, and I'm going to go straight into my 40-day fruit fast. I am going to eat very lightly tomorrow, just probably some strawberries, maybe some blueberries, something like that. But just minimal, get my stomach used to the eating process again, and digesting and all that. And then as the days continue, I'll eat more and more. But then I'm doing 40 days of fruit, primarily just going to be strawberries, blueberries, um, any seeded melons that I can find, uh, oranges, and grapes, and maybe a little bit of dates because I love dates. But dates aren't as astringent as those other fruits are, so they'll be very moderate. Because dates are like my sweet treat. I love dates. Definitely going to use dates a lot more in recipes moving forward too. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. I feel good about it. I'm very proud of myself. I'm not at all disappointed that I'm stopping at 10 days of no eating. Most people out there don't know a single person around them who's ever gone 10 days without eating. Most people don't know anyone that's gone 2 days without eating. So while a vegan lifestyle is still pretty extreme to most, a lot of us out here are living even more extreme. But when someone tells me that my lifestyle is extreme or what I'm doing is extreme, I find it interesting because it's usually somebody who's on multiple medications for chronic diseases that they have. They're not very happy with their lives. They're overweight. They are hoping to find the thing that I'm finding through this journey some other way, and there's just no other way to find it. So, and I hear this on a daily basis from people I know, people I don't know, when we get in conversations about it. But I think that is extreme. And one thing I will note, especially if you really get into these longer fasts, at least for me, I've found that the last 3, maybe 4 days have been extremely difficult mentally with flashbacks of my life and all the food that I've ate. And if you've done any kind of like just a little bit of scrolling to see some of the images of me and not even 7 years ago, I was up to 230 pounds, pretty solid guy. I ate a lot, like a lot, and I loved it. I was a food person. I ate everything. So I've just been, and obviously if I didn't have those experiences, I wouldn't have these flashbacks. And that's why I really think about that consciously. Like, man, that stuff was so addicting, and the way that your body releases hormones and its own chemicals based on what you eat, and that's what makes it addicting. And some of these foods actually attach to the same receptors as hardcore drugs that are extremely addicting. It makes even more sense why it's so hard for so many of us to stop eating the food, why we say we don't have self-control, and then when we stop, why we get such bad withdrawals. It's just really amazing. But I have had a serious issue with those flashbacks and thinking of all the things that I used to eat and loved to eat, and wish that I honestly still could, provided that it didn't destroy my health or the environment or lead to the extinction of other animals. Like, if we were really meant to be omnivorous, then it'd be different. But I know that we're not, and I know all that stuff's bad for us, but it just gets you because you haven't ate it all. But that's just me. Hopefully you guys don't go through that, but if you do, just fight. And hey, appreciate the memories, appreciate your life, don't have any regrets. Like, yeah, I wish I would have found this knowledge a lot sooner, but I don't have any regrets on my life and the things I've done. We only know what we know, and for thousands of years we've lived a certain lifestyle, and it's not like my parents knew any better. They raised me on the same bad eating habits that they have, and that was the same bad eating habits their parents had and their parents had, and it's just a cycle. And all we can do is just try to influence others to change that cycle. So just fight through those cravings, and know once you start eating again, those will go away. Because I know once I start eating, even being just fruit, and there's certain alkaline vegan options that I used to really like to eat a lot of, that I won't be eating for quite a while I do just this fruit, and then we'll be primarily just fruit after. It doesn't matter. My cravings will stop. As soon as my body starts getting the nutrients that I need, that I really need, and that I really want. But I appreciate you guys following along. Appreciate all the support. I get a decent amount of messages from you guys about what I do and how it influences you, and questions and things. So I really appreciate that, because like I said, I'm not a natural doctor. I am not a holistic doctor. I don't have any degrees in any of this stuff. I'm just a certified personal trainer who decided to venture onto the other side of health, because I'm crazy like that, and I like to experiment with things, and I like to challenge things and question things, and I like to know the whys of things. And when I started realizing there wasn't a lot of good answers on the Western side of medicine and food, I went to the other side. So hopefully in time, I will get my degree in natural medicine, and I will, I'm actually going to probably get my certification in nutrition here pretty shortly, but that's really irrelevant when it comes to what we're doing. That has more to do with my training business, but I eventually want to get my degree in natural medicine. I would love to open up my own, clinic and help people through natural ways. That is the plan in time. We will see what happens, but either way, appreciate all you guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and just sharing my experience with you guys and teaching what I'm learning. And if you got something to teach me, hit me up. Appreciate you guys. Love you all. Stay blessed.